Alrighty, here we are. I am going to teach you how to make a pinch pot. And I'm kind of getting up close here because I really want you to be able to see my hands. And I'm going to probably move out of the picture real soon. But I wanted to go over the things that are supposed to be in your project. One, you're supposed to have uniform thickness, the 1/4 inch thick, all the way through the pot. I'll show you that when I make one. Two, you're supposed to have some way that it lifts off the table, meaning it needs some sort of foot. Could be 3 feet, could be 1 foot that goes all the way around. It's up to you how you do that. I would like you to put some texture around the outside. It doesn't have to be absolutely everywhere, but part of it, let's get some texture and practice creating texture and finding things that create texture. And then the fourth thing I want you to think about and tell me in your video is, what are you going to use this for? Is it to hold coins? Well, then you don't need a hole. But if it's a planter, you will need a hole because plants can actually drown if there's too much water down at the bottom. It drowns the roots and it can kill the plant. I pulled out a couple pieces of clay right here, and one of them's about the size of an orange. One of them's a little bit smaller, probably more like a tangerine. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pack the clay. So you have to get it into a ball shape. So you want to kind of paddle it with your hand. And some people will call this like packing like a snowball. You can take your hands and force the little creases out, but this is the beginning. Okay, my ball is now nice and packed, not too many creases on it, and I am going to start the pinch pot process. I take my thumb and I push way down deep inside. My clay feels just a little bit hard, but I think it'll work. Now what I usually try and do is I really stick, I start working the bottom part way down here first. Right now it's pretty far up, and that's why I said pinch pots tend to be smaller vessels because your hands are just small. You can't fit too much farther down there, and you get limited by the size of your hand. So right now I'm pinching and rotating that bottom area because I won't be able to reach it very soon. It's already filled up my hand. Now I am pinching the middle part, and I'm pinching and just sort of squishing that clay, and it begins to widen. Now, if you notice, when I pinch, there's a top part of the clay away from myself, and there's the part that's closest to myself. I pinch at the top, and I rotate, and I pinch, and I rotate. You want to keep it in your hand and keep pinching and rotating. The bottom feels pretty good right now, but I want to move up. Oh, it's a little bit thick right there. So I'm just gonna concentrate on that area and then move up the piece. It feels pretty good in the middle. Right there is a little chunk. And you just gradually work your way upward. Now, if you look at the curve of my hand naturally bends inward when I'm at the top. My hand curve naturally, if I can get it, naturally bends outward if I am down here at the bottom. And that is when you can get this piece, because you're pinching, it ends up flying outward because your natural curve in that hand. So we need it to go inward, and that's why it's a lot easier just to stay right over here at the top and pinch. So I don't know if I'm going to pinch this whole thing beautifully right now for you, but areas that you need to watch, you need to be careful not to get this rim too thin. Come back and shove it down with your thumb. Sometimes you will get little creases like this, and you want to just go across the crease, across the crack, and basically heal it. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of ruin this piece, but I'm going to take a wire cutter here, and I'm going to cut it in half for you because I want you to see what it should look like on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to cut this thing in half. And we talked about X-ray vision. What we're looking for is the same thickness all the way through the piece. It's a little bit thinner right here at the top. I needed to work the bottom parts a little bit more. You'll be able to feel that. You can kind of feel the difference between, in your head, your finger and your thumb, the thickness of it, and you'll go, oh, that area is a little bit thicker and that I need to work on that. So you keep pinching, rotating until you feel even thickness. Now, sometimes you will take a piece, and if you don't listen to me, I'm doing this really quick, if you don't listen to me, you will take a piece right here, and instead of keeping it in your hand, you will put it down and you will work on it like this. When you cut this one in half, you will see what I mean by there being a corner in the middle. Okay? I set it down so it's flat and I can't feel this part right here. I'm only paying attention to the walls. I need to keep it in my hand so I don't get this corner, and I can keep pinching, rotating, always taking care of the bottom first so you don't get this little thickness at the bottom. Okay, I made another pinch pot out of the two that I was sort of destroying to show you the inside. So I have it, it's a little bit thin and a little bit flexible. I might need to let it get a little bit more leather hard. But I wanted to show you the next part, and that is putting a foot on it. Now, you could do the texture before or after the foot. It's kind of how the clay is responding to you, if it's beginning to get hard or something like that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and turn my piece over right now and show you a couple different ways to put on a foot. I rolled out a coil right here, and I kind of left it fat on purpose because I thought maybe I might make it more of a flat coil, and you could roll out a little slab if you know how, but I'm overlapping, and then let's see if I can find my needle tool. Yes, I can. I'm crossing over both of them. Get rid of the little extra piece number 2. And now I have a little, I think I'm going to put a little slip in here. Just a little. Score it carefully with my needle tool. Go over here. I think there's enough wetness to be able to sort of join those two together, and also do some smashing. Remember, it's like Velcro, you really got to push them into the other side. And I'm smoothing, and then is that where I want my piece, my little foot. So I'm going to sort of look at it. Looks a little crooked, so I think I need to set my piece a little bit straighter. And then I think I'll slip and score it right there. So I'm going to turn this over carefully. I'm going to get your fork out. It's way faster than a needle tool. So I'm going to put a little slip right here. And while I'm putting the slip on, I'm scoring. So this side is cut up. If you have the slip on, it's not going on very well, so I'm going to paint it. If you put the slip on and you hold it to your piece, I'll check one more time before I do this. Okay. You will see that the wetness of the slip is actually on here. Now I know where I need to score on this piece. So take my fork, cut it up. So I think there's enough wetness over here, but just in case, I'm gonna just put a little more slip and a little bit more scoring. So the two Velcro sides are now ready to join together. So I'm putting them in here. I'm holding from the inside and I'm sort of pushing inside as I push down on the outside. Okay, so that is one kind of a little donut slab sort of coil combination. What if you didn't want a whole piece all the way around the side? Well, I'm gonna take this off and show you another one. You could put a coil on if you wanted to, or you could take a piece of clay and divide it into three. I always work in threes because three-legged things always will touch. So here's one little piece. I'm trying to get them even, so let's see if we're close. That one's a little bit big. Maybe I can join some of that to that one. And do my three little legs. And you can create, these sort of look like eggs. You can create whatever kind of legs you want for your feet. And on this one, I'm gonna have to slip and score right in here. I've already got a lot of scoring over here. I may just have to open it up. So we'll open that area up and we'll sort of give a little twist and put that one on. So I often will give it a little twist as I'm slipping and scoring, and it'll stop wanting to twist. That's when you know that it's on. Okay, you could smooth those little legs on, but I think this isn't going to come off very easily. Maybe you want it to show. So I'm going to go ahead and slip and score the next one on. A little bit of slip, score, score, twist, next, score, get that Velcro cut up and wiggled together. All right, so I'm gonna get in here, wiggle these together, really push them on tight. I have some cleanup to do from the piece I took off earlier, but if you look right now, this piece is really sitting nicely. Another requirement is some texture. So I want you to go searching. Yes, you can use your tools. You know, you can get out your tools. You did that with your stamps. Now try and find something new. Look, I went out to my dad's garage and I found a bunch of screws and screwdrivers and weird hooks that have some texture on them. Maybe that'll be cool. Or you could go outside and find some nature. I found a pine cone, part of a pine tree, and I also went to the kitchen and I found something that had a bunch of holes in it. I think, maybe that'll do something. The edge of a spoon, or maybe this has sort of a sharp, serrated, but could be a cool texture. Now, because I have three things on here, maybe I'm going to divide this into three areas. So I'm just going to take the side of my needle tool and make a line. It's so much easier to press a line in than to draw it. So I'm just sort of pressing the side of my needle tool and dividing myself three areas. I'm not dragging the tool, I'm pressing the tool. And then you do not have to cover the whole pot. It's up to you how much you want to do. You can see how I sort of divided. I made some lines on it. And then maybe I'll do one garage thing, one nature thing, one not. Kind of like this hexagon going on here. So I'm going to try the hexagon as some texture. Maybe just at the bottom. and maybe another row up here. I don't know if I like it. Ooh, that one came out nice though. But I just have to keep playing until I see what I like. I can tell you right now, I wish I'd left this piece a little bit thicker, because as I move this piece, it's almost too thin to not fall apart in my hand. Here's something on the end of a screw. Could that pop up a little bit? I don't know if you can see it, but it popped up a little bit because it's a star here that goes into. That means it does the opposite when I use it. You could use a screwdriver, okay, where I come and make the little marks. All right, so let's go to a kitchen side. I don't have a lot of kitchen things, but we'll get this cleaned up. Please ask Mom and Dad's permission, but I'm just gonna kind of press this on and see what it does. Press, press, press. I kind of do like those marks. They could make some interesting things during glazing. Here's a spoon, and I could use a spoon. And then we're gonna switch to the nature side. I don't know. What do you think? Kind of boring. I don't like it all that much. But maybe you guys have better ideas than me. All right, to the nature side. I have a pine cone. I don't really like pine cones all that much. I don't think they do the most interesting things, but maybe you do. That one kind of came out cool. It seems to be a soft pine cone. You want leaves and plants that are a little bit thicker. This leaf has so little veins in it, you will hardly see it. But I found another leaf. The veins are really high on it. So I could place it here and just sort of press down. Make sure it's all pressed, because once you take it off, you'll never match it again. Maybe I could even go to the inside with this. Ooh, what an idea. All right, we only got one shot at this. Hey, not too bad. What did it do on the inside? I don't know. Maybe, but I kind of like that go over look. And then I have some pine tree right here. So maybe I can take the pine tree, it's pretty thick, and put it in, okay? Now again, I'm sure you guys are more creative than I am right now in this rushed state, but normally you keep it nice and smooth on the inside, because especially if you're gonna eat it out of it, you don't want food to catch in any crevices. It can create bacteria. So I am keeping mine very nice and smooth on the outside. I might use this for soup. So what are you guys gonna use it for? Remember, if it's a planter, you're gonna put a little hole right down there. All right, go create. Show me what you got.